Hello, my name is Misty Filippo, and I'm your guest teacher for today. We're going to be learning data displays from Lesson 10.2, Histograms. The essential question: how can you use intervals, tables, and graphs to organize data? The objective: I will construct and interpret a histogram. The key idea: a histogram is a bar graph that shows the frequency of data values in intervals of the same size. So notice here we have CDs owned by, and the number of CDs is our interval. Notice each of them is going by 10. 0 through 9 is 10. 10 through 19 is 10. 20 through 29, 10. And 30 through 39, 10. It's very important that you have the same size intervals. Also, there are no spaces in between the bars on a histogram. So keep those two important facts in mind. The height of a bar represents the frequency of the value in the interval. For example, 0 through 9 CDs, the frequency is 4. For 20 through 29, the frequency is 1. Making a histogram. The frequency table shows the numbers of laps that people in a swimming class completed today. Display the data in a histogram. Step number 1, draw and label the axes. Step number 2, draw a bar to represent the frequency of each interval. Okay, so we need to draw our x and our y axis. Our x-axis is always going to have our interval on it in this case, it would be our number of laps. The frequency is going to be on our y-axis, going straight up and down vertically. Okay, here's our frequency table. And the number of laps with our intervals are located horizontally here on our x-axis. And we're going to label it number of laps. The frequency is on our y-axis going vertical. Include any interval with a frequency of 0. The bar height is 0. So notice here, we're going to put in this information and make our bars. Even though nobody swam 7 through 9 laps, this is 0. Nobody did it. We still have to include it. We still have to write it down, but we are not going to make a bar. The bar height is 0. So it would just kind of be a big space here. So there's no space between the bars of a histogram. So all the bars, they have to be connected. But obviously, if it's a 0, then you're going to notice a space here. So the number of laps for 1 through 3, the frequency is 11. So my bar is going to go up to 11. For 4 through 6, frequency is 4. 7 through 9 is 0. So it's just going to be at 0. 10 through 12 is 3. And 13 through 15 is 6. Notice there are no spaces in between my bars, and the intervals are the same exact distance apart. Making a histogram. Here's another example. The frequency table shows the numbers of t-shirts that each person in a class owns. Display the data in a histogram. Okay, so we are going to draw and label the axes. The x-axis is going to have our t-shirts with our intervals included, and our y-axis will have the frequency. Then we're going to draw a bar to represent the frequency of each interval. Okay, t-shirts owned is our title. T-shirts, this is going to be on our x-axis, which is horizontal here on the bottom. So we're going to label that t-shirts. Going up and down vertically on our y-axis is the frequency. Well, the number of students that own 1 through 4 t-shirts is 3. That means 3 students own 1 through 4 t-shirts. There are 6 students that own 5 through 8 t-shirts. So we're going to make our bar going up to 6. 9 through 12 t-shirts, there are 13 students. Okay, so we're going to make our bar going up to 13. There are no students that own 13 through 16 t-shirts. So we still have our spot here, but we're not going to have a bar because it's at 0. And 17 through 20 t-shirts, there are 4 students that own 4 t-shirts. Okay. Notice no spaces between our bars. Okay, using a histogram. The histogram shows the numbers of hours that students in a class slept last night. So, how many students slept at least 8 hours? Well, if they slept at least 8 hours, that means they slept 8 or more hours. So if we take a look at our histogram, we have 8 through 11 hours and 12 through 15 hours. If we add them up, the frequency, we have 8 students that slept 8 through 11 hours, and we have 3 students that slept 12 through 15 hours. If we add them together, we have 11 students. Question B, how many students slept less than 12 hours? Okay, well, less than 12 hours would be 8 through 11, 4 through 7, and 0 through 3. So we're going to look at our frequency and we're going to add them up. 8 plus 8 plus 2. That gives us 18 students. The histogram shows the number of laps completed by the swimmers on a team during practice. Okay, which interval contains the most data values? Well, the most data values would be the highest bar. So which one has the highest frequency? If you said 10 to 14, you're in good shape. How many swimmers are on the team? Okay, well, we're going to look at each of our bars and estimate and add them all up. This looks like 9 plus 12 plus 20 plus 3. If we add them up, we're going to get 45 swimmers. What percent of the swimmers swam more than 14 laps? Round to the nearest tenth of a percent. All right, more than 14 laps. So that means it has to be, let's see, nobody swam 15 through 19 laps, but we have 3 students that swam 20 through 24 laps. So 3 divided by 45, because there's a total of 45 swimmers. 3 divided by 45 gives us, 3 divided by 45, 6.7%. I don't know if I can click on that or not. 6.7%. Okay, last part. Which graph is a histogram? And explain your reasoning. So we're given 2 graphs, and one of them is a histogram. Which one do you think it is? The expense report or the test scores? If you said test scores, you're in really good shape because the test scores, look, there's no spaces in between the bars, and we have intervals here at the bottom. The one on the top, there are spaces in between, and there are no intervals on your x-axis. Number 2, describe the outliers in the histogram. An outlier means that it's a number or it's a data value that is really, really large or really, really small compared to the rest of the data. So if we look at the test scores, notice we have the bars that are about the same height between 41 and 100. But over here, 1 through 20, we have just a small little bar over here. So the outlier would be the score between 1 and 20. Question 3, how can you tell when an interval of a histogram has a frequency of 0? Well, frequency of 0 would mean that there's no bar here. 21 through 40, no one scored a 21 through 40. So if there's no bar, then we know that there's no frequency. Hope you have a great day. Good luck on your histogram assignment today. Bye.